Welcome to the Hypnotherapy Fast Track Certification course by the Academy of Therapeutic Hypnosis. This will be one of several videos, short, succinct, very to the point videos over the next few weeks that you'll receive prior to our face-to-face 4-day training intensive. They'll give you information to go into the training with, and it'll prepare you for the training and for this wonderful career ahead that you've chosen. And hypnotherapy is a wonderful career. It really is. You're out there, you're helping people, you're helping yourself, you're improving your own life and the life of others. And that's what it's all about. Now, today I'd just like to explain a bit about what hypnotherapy is and what it isn't. And it's very, very important that your client understands what hypnotherapy is, because the better they understand it, the better they'll respond. And the only thing that really matters in any hypnotherapy session is the outcome. You know, it's important to build rapport, to gain trust, to make it a pleasant experience. Lots of things are important in a session, but all of those things don't matter unless the client gets their outcome. So that's what's really important in every single session. And so it's important that we, as the therapist, believe that the client can achieve that outcome, and that the client believes that they can achieve that outcome, or else we're both going in under false pretenses. So belief is a very, very big part of a hypnotherapy program, because what the unconscious mind believes, the body will respond to instantly. But if the conscious mind is putting up resistance and the unconscious mind doesn't believe it, then it's not going to happen. So that's a very, very important part of any hypnotherapy process, is the belief. And it is with anything else as well. Like I've had people say to me, can you 100% guarantee that this is going to work? Well, I don't know anywhere where you can get 100% guarantee. Goodness me, if you go into an operating theatre for surgery, they won't even 100% guarantee that you'll come out alive. But hypnotherapy, if the client engages 100%, and the hypnotherapist engages 100%, then yes, you can virtually say there's 100% chance of success. So it's very, very important that the client has the belief that they can achieve it, and the hypnotherapist has the belief, and of course the skills and knowledge and technique and everything else to take the client to their outcome. Now, hypnotherapy itself, some people worry, that they're handing over control of their mind to somebody else, but of course it's not that at all. It's a process that they're guided through. It's a nice meditative state. They're not asleep, they're awake and aware of what's going on, and they need to be actively engaged in the process, because we can only do our part. They have to do their part as well. It's a two-way process. And I always explain to people, it's not a do-to process. I don't do this to you. I do it with you. I guide you through the process and we go through together. It's like you take your client by the hand and you lead them out to the other side. But they've got to come with you. If they're not going to come, then nothing's going to happen. So it's very much a do-with process. Now, hypnotherapy itself, it's very difficult to actually explain. If you look up the definition of hypnotherapy, you'll find 100 different definitions if you look in 100 different places. But basically, a hypnotic suggestion is any suggestion that the unconscious mind accepts. Because what the unconscious mind accepts as real, the body will respond to. So it's very important that the unconscious mind accept the suggestions. And what we do is we guide the client through a nice process in hypnotherapy, a nice process of relaxation. We relax the mind, we relax the body, we then kind of relax away that barrier between the conscious mind and the unconscious mind, and we can speak directly to that part of the mind to make the changes that we need to make to achieve the outcome for the client. Now, everybody can be hypnotized. Everybody can block it. No one can be hypnotized against their will. And so it's very important that the client understands their role in the process. And hypnotizing somebody is really easy. It's a very easy process, and providing they're willing to come with you and follow all the instructions, that part is easy. Getting them into trance, because trance is actually a very naturally occurring state. It's something we do all the time anyway. You know, how often someone driving along and it's like, oh, where'd that last 10 kilometres go? That's a naturally occurring trance state. Or when you lose yourself in a good book or a good movie or just sit there daydreaming. There's so many naturally occurring trance states. You know, you'll see kids in a classroom and they're like, and then, they've been in a trance state. So hypnotic trance is not some weird or strange thing. It's just something we do all the time anyway. So you're just guiding the person down into that nice, natural, relaxed state where you can make the changes. Now, as I said, hypnotizing somebody is very, very easy. The hard part is saying the right things to change those unconscious programs that are creating the problem that they've come to you for. So our unconscious mind is programmed, and it's like a computer. It doesn't say, is this a good or bad program? It just says, yep, I've got it for you, we'll run that automatically. And so when something's happening automatically in somebody's life, then it's just about reprogramming that unconscious response. And so it's easy to hypnotize someone once they're there in that nice trance state, open, ready to accept suggestions. You've got to put the right suggestions in for that person. So it's very important to know exactly what that person needs to change so that you can help them make those changes. Again, you can't make those changes. You don't take hold of their mind or their brain and twist it around. You put in the suggestions. They accept the suggestions and they make the change. And that's the magic of hypnotherapy. If they're open and they just accept the suggestions, the body responds instantly. So it's just a process that they're guided through. You relax the mind, relax the body. It's nice if it's a nice experience for them. Of course, they will be much more likely to respond if you've developed a good rapport, you've got their trust, and it's a very much a two-way situation. So that's so important in the whole process. So the client will come and see you. You will ask them a series of questions. You will explain how the process works. You'll let them know that you can do your part. They have to do their part as well. You explain, I always explain a bit about the conscious mind and the unconscious mind, and we'll go into that a little bit later in another video. And then, once they're ready, you have all the information you need, they have all the information they need, then you just guide them through this process, this two-way process where you're doing your part, they're doing their part. You've formulated the suggestions, they're accepting the suggestions. So you do what we call an induction, which is the hypnosis part, which is where you're relaxing them down into that space. Then you're doing the suggestions, which is the therapy part of the whole process. And then once all of that's done, then there's the reorientation, where you're bringing them back out of that lovely trance state into back to here and now. And then the process is done. Because hypnotherapy, it's very, very quick. Once the body accepts the suggestions at an unconscious level, it's like flicking a switch. It can be that profound. You know, somebody has smoked for 40 years. They've tried everything to quit. Nothing's worked. And then they have a really powerful hypnotherapy session and it's done. They walk out a non-smoker. No nicotine withdrawals, none of that. If you get the unconscious mind's agreement, the body responds instantly. That's not to say that everything's done in one session. Sometimes it's a process. We have to go through the layers. We have to do one part at a time. But very often it is only one session. And it's just all about the unconscious mind accepting the suggestions. The unconscious mind's the feeling part of the mind. The conscious mind's the thinking part. Well, that's probably a simplified way of putting it, but I always explain it a bit like that because, you know, if you're thinking you want to lose weight and you don't want to eat those fattening, unhealthy foods, but you're feeling like it, that's an unconscious response. And so your feelings will always override your thoughts. You know, oh, I don't want to eat that cheesecake. Oh, but I'm dying for it. I don't want that cigarette. Oh, but I feel like it. You know, your feelings, unless you use a lot of willpower, your feelings will always override your thoughts. And that's why hypnotherapy is so powerful, because you're working with the feeling part of the mind. So if you're thinking you don't want it, and you're feeling like you don't want it, then you're not going to have it. If you're thinking you don't want it, but you're feeling like you need it, then you know, that's a difficult situation. And it's the same with phobias. You know, like you think you don't want to be phobic, you want to be able to get into that lift and go up to the restaurant at the top of the building or whatever, but the phobia trigger kicks in and you're feeling it in your body that you can't step in that lift. Your legs are wobbling, your heart's pounding, your stomach's churning. And so that's the power of the unconscious mind. You feel it, but you don't feel it in your mind, you feel it in your whole body. So if you can change that response, you know, so that you're feeling okay about getting in the lift and going up to the top floor restaurant, then it makes it easy to do it. So we are working with the feeling part of the mind. We're reprogramming it from the old way that's not working anymore to a new way that can work for the client. And we're, you know, bringing them with us on this journey. We're getting their agreement and their cooperation every step of the way, and then we make the changes at an unconscious level, and then every part of the body responds. The conscious mind wants it, the unconscious mind's in agreement, and the body responds instantly. So that's a bit of an overview of hypnotherapy, and I'll see you in the next recording.